I'm joined here today by the one and only Glover Teixeira, coming off the huge win over Anthony Smith this past weekend at UFC Jacksonville. Glover, thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. You're welcome.
Man, we're glad to have you join us, especially off such a big win, man. It's been a few days. How do you look back at your performance at Jacksonville? I assume you must be very happy with it.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the performance. The fight went great. The strategy, in the beginning, I was. Hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. And the beginning was a little bit hard to find the distance, but I capitalized there like after the second round.
And so, are you currently back home in Connecticut?
Yes, I'm here in Connecticut, just hanging out and do some gardening.
Of course, gardening. How was the travel back home? Did you take the airplane, or are you one of the people that drove?
No, I took the airplane. It's a little weird, seeing the airport that slow. It's not as much people, especially me. I fly out of JFK and there's not much people around, no lines, man. It's like it's a little scary.
And were you nervous about traveling at all, or was it just no big deal for you?
I mean, at this point, you kind of like you want to take precaution for everything, like the fight and everything. So, yeah, a little bit, in a way there, I was more nervous than in the way back, because in the way there, I knew I couldn't get sick, otherwise I wouldn't be able to fight. So,
Right, and of course, so you get to Jacksonville in the UFC, they have to do all those tests on you. How did that go? I assume a lot of people they hated the nose test where they put the cotton swab in the nose. How did that go for you?
it's a quick thing, and I was actually excited to get the test to make sure, nothing wrong with me, and free test, man. It's
Right?
it's a little bit annoying, but like it's worth it.
Yeah, it's a great way you put it because it is a free test. And then when your results come back and you get the positive news, so yeah, you're right. It's a very positive thing.
Yeah.
So listen, let's talk about your performance against Anthony Smith because obviously it was a very dominant victory. Did you expect to be so dominant going into that fight?
I'm not expecting always. You visualize the fight and go a different ways. A rough fight, a knockout or submission. I did expect to be a tough fight. I did expect Anthony Smith to not quit and stay there, but and I expected to finish him. I was thinking the third or fourth round, but that's expectation, but I was ready for 5 rounds as well. Knew and that's a possibility that we go to the fifth round, and that's what happened, man. Anthony Smith is a tough son of a gun, and he handled himself well in there.
So listen, during the fight, obviously you mentioned you have the first round. It seems like things are kind of going Anthony's way. At what point did you feel the switch where you took over at one point? You just completely took over. When you're out there, at what point did you feel like you took over the fight?
After I throw a blitz, I think it was in the end of the second round, in the half or second half of the second round. I threw a blitz and I hit him with a couple good shots, and I know that he felt it. And after that, basically he stopped moving. He tried to trade, and that was the fight. When I start connected, with the hard shots, that's where I felt that the fight would go my way.
And so, we hear the commentators, they're saying their things during the fight. Are you able to hear the commentators when you're out there fighting?
Not really. You hear things here and there, but like the coaches, you focus on the coach. You focus. I didn't hear much of the commentators at all.
And so the commentators, a big thing that they were saying is they were surprised that you were taking Anthony Smith down because they thought maybe you try to keep it on the feet where you're having success. Well, what was your reason for taking Anthony Smith down during the fight?
I don't know. I hurt my hand in the third round too, so I guess going for that. It's a lot of city openings. I was hitting Anthony Smith a lot, and he wouldn't go down. So I was trying to catch him a submission or something. Trying to take him down and go for a choke or ground and pound. Just end up happening later on in the fifth round. With the ground and pound.
And so we're seeing you're, expending all this energy because you're constantly working on top of Anthony Smith. Did you start to get tired towards the end of the fight?
No, I felt pretty good, man. I felt pretty good. I felt the fifth round. Of course, it's a 5 round fight, and you go as hard as you can. You get a little bit tired, but there's nothing like, I even play with coach say that I'm ready for another 5 rounds, you know. But yeah, I felt pretty good.
Did you feel like, obviously it's a very dominant victory, but do you feel like this is one of, if not the best performance of your career?
I felt like it was a good performance. I don't know if it's the best performance. It just is a situation. Just happy to move well and to have a great fight like I did, and knowing that I still learning. I still going forward, man. I still going up, and it's definitely one of the best performances in the last years. Yeah.
And so we see you're on top of Anthony Smith, and at one point you do say something to him. I think you said like, it's all part of the game or something like that. Why did you say that to Anthony Smith during the fight?
I saw him extending his hand to the ref, calling the ref. I didn't understand what's going on, and I saw him. Here's my tooth. Can you hold it for me? I'm like that. So it's kind of like, sorry, Anthony, but this is part of the job. It's just saying the situation that like, what will happen. Uh, that when we in here, we fight, and that can happen with any one of us. But that's the risk we take.
Do you feel bad while this is happening? Because I think a lot of people that were saying those things on Twitter. When you're saying that, do you feel bad, or is it like you said, just part of the game, and you have to do what you have to do?
Yeah, it's a part. Nothing bad, but like it just feeling like it sucks. It's a suck situation. Um, it is a part of the job, and we all know it going there. Like what I mean, cuts, so broken nose and stuff like it. It's not a major injury. I'm glad that he's okay. It's like everything's good. It's good with him. So I'm just glad to hear that.
And we saw a lot of people that were talking about Anthony Smith and his corner and all that stuff. Do you feel like we were talking enough about you and your performance? Do you feel like maybe people focused too much on Anthony Smith after the fight?
Not really, man. I'm just chill with everything. I'm glad that everything happens. I don't really pay attention too much on that.
That makes sense. There's something I am very curious about because, of course, you are from Brazil and you do currently live in Connecticut. What's the reason for living in Connecticut? Because with Brazilians, we always feel like, they come to Florida and they go to the sunny places. Why Connecticut of all places?
I knew a couple friends from my hometown that was living here at the time, working landscape. So that's when I moved, and I stay here for a bit. And I met my wife. She's from here, and that's I ended up marrying her. I moved to California in 2006, 2005. Live with John Hackman there. But then when I come back from Brazil, we set our home over here. I opened up my gym here. So this is my second home now. My home away from home.
That's right. What do you feel about the MMA scene in Connecticut? We know you do have your gym over there. What's the interest like in Connecticut? Because we don't hear about it as much as, Florida, California, and things like that.
It's still open up, man. It's still getting the sport's still getting big over here. It's a little bit delayed, I guess, in a way to people is more conservative, and all this stuff. But I can see it's growing. It's growing everywhere, and it start growing over here in Connecticut now. And I'm excited for the whole thing that's coming up with my gym and everything. Of course, now with the pandemic we're closed, but I'm just excited to be back and be back stronger.
And so there is something that I want to get your thoughts on. We have John Jones and Francis Ngannou. They're all over Twitter. They want to fight each other. As someone in the light heavyweight division, and obviously you're very close to a title shot, what do you think when you're seeing all that? Does it bother you to see that fight kind of happening and potentially holding up the division?
Yeah, I don't know what you think, man. If John Jones gonna move up, what's gonna happen? To be honest, it's all rumors right now. Jones keep going back and forth. Probably he wants more money. Um, you know, and I don't like I say, I'm just enjoying my victory. I'm
Right.
relaxed. Yeah, don't pay attention too much and the stuff I see. I see the things going on, but I'm not like you know too much because until happens, right now they do a lot of rumors for, not much of stuff, not much action.
That makes sense. Listen, you're currently on a four-fight winning streak. They give you these young guys. You keep beating them down, moving on to the next. Well, what's the key to this winning streak? What's going right for you so far?
Just learning the camp, focus. I'm already back in training, I fought last week. I'm already back in condition training. I did a bike ride, like 2 hours bike ride yesterday. Just keep focus on a diet, keep focus on and the training, and keep the body going, man. I think that's the main thing. If you really wanna, put the hard work and discipline yourself.
And so, when you got back on social media after your fight, what were your messages like? Did you have a lot of people that were talking to you about the fight? What was the reaction like when you get back on, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff?
It was great, Everybody sent congrats and everything. It was amazing, man. To see the fans and just telling positive stuff.
And so this win, it's obviously a big one. Where does this put you in the light heavyweight division? I assume this puts you top five, potentially next in line for a title shot at some point. Where does that put you in the division?
It's right there, top five, and we're ready to go. Let's see who's next.
So speaking of who's next, realistically, who would you like next? I know some people they've talked about Dominic Reyes, Thiago Santos, potentially Jan Blachowicz. Is there someone that you would like particularly next?
And those three sounds good.
For sure. Listen, just one last question. We'll let you go and we'll let you get back to your gardening and everything. But realistically, when do you think we'll see you fight again?
I don't know, man. With who knows with the situation going on. Hopefully, the UFC we get going, like it did last week. But right now, we're looking for what, June 6th, you know, and yeah. I mean, just let's just wait and see. But I don't know, in the perfect world, and by maybe 4 or 5 months, But who knows with this pandemic.
Right. Well, listen, thank you so much for the time, Glover. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on the victory, man. Enjoy it. And hopefully, we'll see you out there again soon.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.